Shamaya, you did it.
STL Music.
Is that good? Welcome back to the show. Yo, listen up, we back in the game. Sweep the league, we got the plane. On the data to the fullest every single day. We wake up, get it in every way. Right from the two on the global inspiration. Talk this sports and top news, no hesitation. Sweep the league is back. We always coming back, that's a fact. Wanna tell them that STL Music, mama, we did it, where we at? Coach Jill in the house with the flow so tight. Every round, Purple rock stats, we unite. Yeah, the best show, Monday through Friday. If this ain't different, they lying. We got the energy. When I say sweep, you say the league. Sweep the league, sweep the league, sweep the league, sweep the league. San Antonio, let's go. Sweep the league. Sweep the league. Sweep the league. San Antonio.
Hi, it's Sherilyn, and you're watching Sweep the League TV. Follow me on Instagram at official Sherilyn for more content.
Hey, this is George Iceman Gervin, and you're listening to Sweep the League Radio.
Got to add myself to the stage in order for you guys to hear me. Welcome back to Sweep the League. It's the thirsty Thursday night edition of Sweep the League. Rudy Campos Jr. Derek Gervin is off tonight. We're waiting on Coach Gio. Let's see if he's using his PTO for tonight. The guy said he has 1 million hours, so we're going to let him use as much as he wants, but he's supposed to be on tonight. But nonetheless, you're going to have me at least for the next hour or so. Been on Twitter or X or whatever the kids are calling it today, asking about CD Lamb. Where does he rank on the wide receiver rankings? We'll get into that also. You had the Final Four in the men's Olympic basketball today. You had France versus Germany, United States versus Serbia. I almost was able to get on the podcast tonight and say, I told you so, but I wasn't able to because Team USA did pull it out at the end. But nonetheless, I called them a bronze medal team at the beginning of the Olympics. Their best they can do is gold now. The worst they can do is silver. So I was a little wrong. I'm actually a little more surprised at the Germany-France game. I figured Germany would have been able to pull that one off. But nonetheless, man, you know what? It is what it is. We're going to get into this Olympic talk as well as maybe a little bit of NCAA preview. If Gio can jump on with us, we'll do some NCAA preview with you guys tonight. Kind of go over, some of the division or some of the conferences, maybe give our picks of top 8, stuff like that. So nonetheless, we're going to be with you here on this Thursday night. I appreciate everybody joining us on the stream. Tim Gonzalez, as usual. Blue Devils, Tar Heels suck. Of course they do. Derek predicted correctly that was going to happen in today's game. Yeah, I mean, Derek and I were talking to you guys about it, and the thing is we told you guys about Serbia. You didn't get the true Serbian team those first couple of games that they played against Team USA, where Team USA cakewalked them in the 26-point win victory for both of them. They came out to play. When Jokic got that fourth foul late in the fourth quarter, that's when the game turned. You saw him being less aggressive. There was a couple of calls that were kind of, for and against both teams. It's the Olympics, guys. I mean, you're not going to go down without a fight. So, Derek was definitely right on that sense. Chris Leah, shout out to MCS General Contracting. He says, Duke sucks. Puro pinche Red Raiders. A la verga. That's right. Red Raiders, right? Definitely Red Raiders. What's good, gents? It's baby Jueves. Get your beers ready and let's relax. Definitely, man. You got to relax a little bit tonight, man. Get ready for the weekend. It's Thursday. We got one more night. Derek Gervin's a preview for tomorrow, USA versus Australia. Derek's not going to be here tonight, man. So definitely we'll get him back on tomorrow, but he's going to take the night off tonight. Leas really needed to reach out and ask for help. I saw that on Twitter. We're going to get to CD Lamb talk here. see where he ranks amongst the wide receivers for me. Gio wants a max contract, definitely. Jacob Eric, sorry I'm late. No excuses. I'm in here. Welcome, Sith Elias, Sith Lord Elias. Again, him and Brandon Big Poppy Medina. They do Down for the Count, the Twitter Spaces or X Spaces that they do on Monday night. 10 minutes after Raw is done, they give you the recap on Raw and cover everything else in the wrestling industry. Actually, we got a little bit of a wrestling segment here today. Just to make a quick announcement when it comes to local wrestling. Jeff Garcia, Locked On Spurs. Rudy, why hasn't Team France Wembanyama been the dominant Wembanyama we've seen in the NBA? Good question. We kind of talked about it yesterday. We'll talk about that more a little bit today. Let's hear the Lamb Talk. You got to wait for the Lamb Talk. I'm not going to lead off with the Lamb Talk. Sith Lord Elias, nonetheless, man. This is Sweep the League Thursday edition. Again, we're waiting to see if Coach Gio jumps on with us tonight. He should be on here in just a little bit. But the first, we got to shout out to our sponsors, MCS General Contracting, also Special Leaf Tea, La Cocina Taco Truck, and Castro and Sons Solar. Also, shout out to Locked On Spurs and Jeff Garcia. We're great partners with Jeff Garcia and Locked On Spurs. I'm on Locked On Spurs maybe once a week at the most. So definitely check out Locked On Spurs, where you can find myself and you can find all this great Spurs content for Locked On Spurs. But also, again, shout out to all of our sponsors there: MCS General Contracting, Castro and Sons Solar, La Cocina Taco Truck, and Special Leaf Tea. All right, guys, the first segment is brought to you by MCS General Contracting. You know, when they put the team together, the Dream Team, Team USA, Team Serbia, whatever, the only word we ever mentioned between putting a team together, building a home is foundation. And MCS General Contracting, whether it's putting in a pool, expanding the driveway, making that build around porch around your entire house, or you know what, you're just going to build a house. You need that foundation poured. Or you're a business owner, you need that parking lot taken care of. Contact Chris Leha over at MCS General Contracting. You know what? They are the best in the business. And you may feel, wow, you know, these guys, you know, they're not going to be. Chris, the other day, Chris said it. They may not have the lowest prices, but you know what? You pay what you get for. You're paying the best price possible with Chris Leha. You're getting the best work, period, from Chris Leha. It's 100% satisfaction guaranteed. That's MCS General Contracting. Proud sponsors of Sweep the League. Shout out to Joe Colon out there. Good evening, Joe. Thanks for joining us in, man. Again, Derek Urban will be back tomorrow, I believe. So he should be with us tomorrow night. He's got the night off. So getting to the first segment brought to you by MCS General Contracting. Olympic talk. You know, Jeff Garcia mentioned a little while ago, he's wondering what's going on with Wembanyama in France, Germany. We'll get into that here in just a minute. I want to kind of go over the United States, Serbia. So Serbia led the entire way, 31-23 after the first. Joel Embiid basically came through. He came in through the clutch as well. You know, he had 19 points. LeBron James had a triple-double, 16 points, 12 rebounds, 10 assists. USA came out on top today over Serbia, but it was a battle, something that we kept telling you guys, watch out for Serbia because this game's going to be good. It's going to be close. I didn't expect them to go up by as much as 17. But they did, and you know what? They kind of just ran out of gas at the end. Look who's back. He's back off of his NIL hiatus here. It is Coach Gio. PTO time is over, sir.
The PTO is over. Can you hear me, Rudy?
Yeah, I can hear you great, man.
Yeah, no, I got a new laptop, so just putting
it
together
clear.
A little bit.
Like your picture looks massively clear. Now we can see the pimples and the spores and all that stuff, man. Wow. You see the gray hair coming in too. I like that.
Yeah, I got the Microsoft Surface 7 laptop. This is not a sponsored video by any means. But
Maybe we should get Microsoft to sponsor the
just
show.
testing it out a little bit here, and yeah, I do look pretty clear.
I'm gonna ask you a quick question. Are they pretty expensive?
Yes and no. I did get a decent discount, but they're pretty pricey. Like if you want kind of a lesser tiered chip, they have two chips. They have the X Snapdragon Plus and then the
Mhm.
Elite one. I ended up going with the Elite, but you could definitely actually get it for a pretty decent price if you're looking. I know Windows computers are not always my favorite, but it's my first Windows since I was in college. So
All right, you know what? I'm gonna have to get one because we're covering Big Texas Comic Con in October, and I can't drag the big desktop to Big Texas Comic Con, so I want to get a really good laptop to where I can do all the streaming from there
it's
and all
crazy
that good
because
stuff.
I'm showing high definition at 720. Mine's set at 480 actually, but I guess I'm pretty clear. They have 1080p. I
There
think
you go.
I'll stick to probably less resolution just to make sure there's no
No
lag or anything.
lag or
Yeah,
anything.
anything like that.
Well,
But
you're not hardwired into the router though, right?
no.
Yeah, that's probably if you were hardwired into the router, then yeah, it would be crystal clear. That's kind of what I've got set up over here. I got the Richie Rich set up over here, so I got 10 screens and everything. So we're all good there. MCS gets the job done, unlike the Cowboys who choke. Shout out to JC Special Leaf. Yo, good evening. It's going to be an awesome gold medal match. What is Vegas saying? I'm not quite sure, but I'm pretty sure Vegas has Team USA winning the game. Joe Cologne, what a game that was. Yes, Curry started off shooting the lights out. That was that was probably the difference right there. You take away Curry's hot shooting and Serbia wins the game. Sup, fellas? What is up? Swiss. Gio wants a max deal. Gio does want a max deal. So, Jeff brought something up about Wembanyama that I want to get to after this, but talking Team USA and Serbia real quick, Gio. Again, segment is brought to you by segment is brought to you by MCS General Contracting. Serbia had the USA on they were backpedaling. I mean, they were leading the entire game just about from start to finish. And once Joker got that fourth foul, is what I was telling everybody, that's when the game turned, man. You started to see less aggressiveness. There was some questionable calls for both sides. There was some questionable fouls called for both sides. One of them was when Joker was posting up Embiid and he turned and they called an offensive foul. I didn't see an elbow being thrown there. But overall, the game was what we expected it to be. And Serbia just ran out of gas, man. That took the air out once they got the fourth foul on Jokic.
Yeah, I mean, Rudy, he's the best player on the team. He's been, maybe didn't win MVP last season, but he is top 5 best player in the league. Really, once he goes out, that kind of takes the air out of the team a bit. And Team USA was able to run through. I got a little worried at the end there, Rudy, because it was getting pretty. I mean, it was right there, neck and neck. And
how worried were you?
Well, I did pick Team USA to win, and I felt pretty confident. But as I'm watching it, I'm like, uh-oh, this might be a little teeter. I did have some betting influence in the game. Unfortunately, I missed it by one player, and that's Mr. LeBron James.
What did you have for LeBron?
I had the under on 14.5. I think LeBron got 16 points, so pretty close. So, but no, I thought Team USA was able to squeak out. And now, Rudy, the matchup we talked about just a few days ago with Derek, the French. Are the French going to take over? That's going to be a pretty hot topic.
That's going to be a very hot topic. And, before we get into the French, Team USA, I called them a bronze medal team, and it showed today why I said they're a bronze medal team. But also at the same time, I mean, do I expect them to lose to France? I really don't expect them to lose to France. I think they're going to end up getting gold. You're going to have to get like a massive game, not just from Victor, but from multiple guys. Kind of what Serbia did today.
All right. I'm not sure if I'm the one that's live and Rudy is not. I just got to double check here, fellas, because I'm not 100% sure. Is it just me right now? It is just me, Coach Gio from Sweep the League. It sounds like Rudy decided to jump ship. He doesn't want to be on. He's decided to leave Sweep the League. I'm not shocked by this. Rudy's been looking to jump ship for a long time, but it looks like I'm going to be running the show, the true host. Just kidding. Rudy's having some technical difficulties. So it looks like Coach Gio is going to be running the show. But as we talked about, we saw it. Team USA coming up clutch. But obviously, if Joker is in the game, look, it got real close there at the end, and Team USA was able to squeak out. So kudos to them, the French. Rudy, we all thought that you jumped ship and I was the new host.
Well, I noticed that our viewers went from like close to 30 to 12 now because I was kicked off the internet. I was booted off the internet here. I have no idea. It's just said there's something wrong with your internet. I'm like, oh crap. Okay.
I thought maybe it was my new laptop already kicking you out. I was like, uh-oh.
I definitely will say this is your new laptop may have been the problem. We're just gonna say that might have been the problem, man. I don't know. But nonetheless,
really?
we're back. We're back. Yeah. Yeah. Now now you got everybody in here saying Rudy Gio said he jumped ship and he's sweep the late king. You know what? Every dog gets a bone every now and then. So, and look at that. We're back up to 30 plus viewers. This pretty face brings in the people, Gio.
Rudy, do you really think it was my laptop though?
No, I'm just playing.
Oh, okay. Because that was just my
internet. It said my internet was down. So if I get kicked off again, it has to be the internet, which is weird because everything else around me works.
If Rudy gets kicked off, that means he is no longer a Falcons fan, everyone.
Yeah, I got booted like the Falcons did in the last Super Bowl that they were in. Cyber attack can't stop Rudy. Nope, no cyber attack can stop me. The Wyatt Six got you.
It seems like every day, Rudy, there's a cyber attack, and it's getting kind of scary out there.
I'm getting it now. Leha's right. It was China. The Chinese are, they're pissed off at me because I didn't take Team USA to win gold, man. Maybe it was somebody from USA. I don't know. Somebody's getting me now.
Rudy, I told you Team USA would win gold, and right now it's.
Are you guaranteeing they're going to win gold? Like, is it a guarantee they're going to win against France?
Guaranteed.
There's no shot that you give France.
I'm just kidding. Listen, I would be an idiot, Rudy, to start guaranteeing stuff like Rasheed Wallace. But look, if Victor, Rudy, is it possible Victor has one of these Herculean performances? If he puts up 50, do you think French win?
If he puts up 50, yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. But if he puts up 50 and gets 20 from somebody else, it's a guarantee win. He's got to have some kind of help because 50 by Victor is not enough to beat just Team USA. There's no way.
No, I mean everyone needs to jump in and really contribute. I think the French got a shot. I mean, look, it's Olympics, it's the gold medal round, Rudy. If you're here, you got a shot. It could be a small one, 10%, 15, 25, whatever the case may be, but the French are here. And if I'm Team USA, I do not take this team lightly. And Louis, I'm not betting on this game. Maybe the over-unders.
I had him scared today with Serbia. That's why he's not betting it.
Not so much the score or anything like that or who wins, but potentially some over-unders. But it should be a good, entertaining game.
Shout out to Louis La Cocina Taco Truck, proud sponsors of Sweep the League. Let's see, man. Embiid's going to drop 70 on Wemby again. Sith is in here, man. Okay, so we're going to get to Sith's question. I was tagged I had 30 notifications on Twitter because Sith needs help we need to back him up. Apparently, CeeDee Lamb's the best wide receiver in the league, is what he's saying. So, yeah, look, that's the same look that I got when I clicked on X, and I was like, I don't know.
Look, I mean, if you want to say he's the best in the league,
you got to save it. Don't give it to him now.
Okay, all right.
We got to tease him. They got to keep him on the show until we talk about it.
It's not the worst take. It's not a Daniel Jones type of take, but
oh my God. We're going to get some Daniel Jones love this year from you. I'm going to make sure Swiss is saying is just
representing the old school Rams today, Rudy, in honor of your love for the Rams.
Name me a Ram player before, I don't know, 97.
Before 97, Orlando Pace was drafted in 97, 98. Yeah.
No.
Pace.
Okay, Orlando Pace was dead.
You have Isaac Bruce. You have
Okay.
What are you talking about? What do you mean okay, Rudy? He's been there for quite some time. Or he was there for quite some time.
90. Give me a Ram before 90.
Jim Everett? Eric Dickerson?
Eric Dickerson, yeah. Was Everett there before 90? I thought he was 90s, early 90s. Can't you contact Jim Everett? You have his number.
I actually have Jim Everett on Twitter. Well, should I say X? But I do have him on Twitter.
You need to contact Jim Everett and get him on the show.
I gotta talk to him. What was the thing with Jim Rome, Rudy?
He kept calling him Chris Everett, the tennis player. And Jim Everett said, "You call me Chris again, basically I'm gonna kick your ass." And he was like, "Okay, Chris. Okay, Chris." And then that's when Jim got up and kicked Jim's ass. Basically, they had to go to a commercial break. That's the thing. So Sith is saying that CeeDee Lamb's only competition at best wide receiver is Tyreek Hill. That's it.
So did Justin Jefferson retire already? Is he no longer in the league?
I think he did. I think he retired. I think Jamar Chase retired as well.
Yeah,
so.
No, Jamar Chase is nowhere to be found. Apparently, I think CeeDee's a outstanding talent. Right, I think he's going to get paid as soon as Jerry starts being in Jerry's feelings as he normally is. You got to pay CeeDee. You pay him. He is a top 5 receiver. Sure. Is he the best? I mean, look, it's all kind of depending on the offense, Rudy. Depending
He's the
on
best playmaker on the team.
Oh yeah,
on that team, hands down.
Well, Rudy, that's not really saying much. Have you seen the receiver corps and also what's left of the running back room?
Yeah, I don't have any comment on that. I mean, I'm not much of a Cowboy fan. Look at the stats for 2023. So he's going based off of 2023 stats. If you go based off of 2023 stats, then CeeDee's the second best receiver in the league behind Tyreek. I mean, he's not lying on that.
Listen, Tyreek he's really fast, Rudy. He's a cheetah, right? So is Tyreek the best route runner? I don't know. Like he is just so fast that it's like, Rudy, he's so fast he just gets by people, right? Like he's just running straight. Yeah. And he's getting behind defense. I like Justin Jefferson a lot. I really think, to me, I think he's the best receiver in the league. Well, Kirk Cousins obviously made him really well, but just his route running. Every time I watch him play, Rudy, it's just, I don't know.
I'll tell you what. Hold off because we're gonna come back to the wide receiver thing. Let's finish up on the Olympics thing here. We got some questions in from Ray Dean. We're gonna get to that. I promise you, we'll get to that. I know you asked it last night, Ray. We'll get to that. Also, he wants to know why the Cowboys have not paid Dak Prescott. Again, I have no idea why. The Jim Rome spot will forever be gold. Hell yeah, it will forever be gold. Real quick, Locked On Spurs here, Jeff Garcia was saying, why hasn't basically Team France Wemby been as dominant as Wemby in the NBA this past year? A lot of it has to go by FIBA rules. 100% it's FIBA rules. It's more physical than the NBA game. A lot more physical. You see, the one thing you got to look at, and you've got everybody take a look. And again, this isn't a knock on Wemby. We're not shitting on Wemby tonight. But what I'm saying, go look at it. It's the truth. These guys are pushing him out of the block. He's not strong enough to play in the block. It's physical basketball. It's FIBA. That's why you haven't seen Wemby come in and dominate. Now, today, I mean, he made plays, 3 blocks, but he only had 11 points and 7 boards. It's not, your typical NBA Wemby stat line. Derek and myself, but, Derek has also said you've seen a regression a little bit in Wemby's play in a sense of he's jacking up more threes. I mean, he was 1 of 8 from 3-point range today. He's not playing in the block. Well, the reason why he's not playing in the block is because he's not strong enough. They're pushing him out, almost damn near past the 3-point line when he's trying to post up. So it's not shit on Wemby. It's just the FIBA game is more physical, Gio. That's the reason why you don't get, NBA Wemby.
Yeah, though, listen, maybe he's trying to be more of a team player. But, of course, obviously rules, FIBA's more physical. Wemby did obviously play overseas. He was young. He still is particularly young. just kind of figuring it all out. I think this is if he wins, Rudy, gold. What do you think that? What does it do to his confidence? You think? I mean, obviously, it's going to be huge, but does it mean anything for the upcoming Spurs season? If he ends up winning gold, what do you think?
No. I mean, it's a great accomplishment, but does it make him, does it add another tier level to the upcoming season in his gameplay? No, I don't think so. I mean, are you talking confidence wise?
I guess anything. What do you think it does for the upcoming season? Does it really cement himself that hey, he's
Raise
here?
ticket prices? I
Well,
mean,
yeah,
the popularity is going to be good. It's going to be awesome because you have a gold medalist. But I mean, I know Keldon's not Wemby, but I mean, at the same time, it's like Wemby wins gold. Does that transition over to NBA ball? For me, no, it doesn't. I mean, you won gold, great. You didn't win gold for the Spurs. You didn't win gold for San Antonio. You won gold for France. So for me, I guess I'm a Debbie Downer on that. It doesn't really transition very well for me.
I do think it's a great start to his legacy. I mean,
oh yeah,
win
no
Olympic
doubt.
gold. I mean, we saw what it did for Ginobili's career. Though I think there are some people. I'm not saying there's anyone on the show today that thinks Ginobili may have been overrated. I've heard that over the years. But I think it would be a great start to his career. And it's kind of continue to pole vault. And we'll see what he does, obviously, in future Olympics. But I do want to say, Spurs fans, the Spurs, even if Wemby wins gold, ticket prices are going to go up. Spurs are probably not making the playoffs.
We really want to shit on them right now? I mean, that's the thing, man. I mean, there's no playoffs right now. I mean, as assembled, it's not a playoff team. Can they get hot and make the play-in team? I don't know. I mean, Carmelo won gold, but it didn't change anything in his NBA career. I'm saying Rudy speaking facts, definitely, man. I mean, it doesn't do Wemby winning gold doesn't do anything for me. Like I'm still gonna sleep easy. I'm not gonna get too excited. I mean, it doesn't. It does more for the country than it does for San Antonio Spurs fans. Spurs fans, hey, dude, they're happy. I'm happy he won gold as a Spurs fan, but coming into the NBA season, I'm not walking around like Ric Flair, styling and profiling because we got a gold medalist coming to San Antonio.
It would be great to get him on this podcast.
Ric Flair? Oh my God. I mean, that would be pretty awesome. Wheeling
Yeah.
in.
John would have been a Hall of Famer just on his FIFA stats.
Exactly.
Look, I'm not saying it's not coming from me. I'm just hearing on X over the years. I've heard that about Ginobili. I'll say this about Ginobili. Skip Bayless, who we all know, some of us love, had mentioned Rudy back in 2008. Ginobili apparently was the second best two guard in all of basketball back in 2008 in the Olympics. Dwayne Wade went to go read the scouting report, right? This is Olympic scouting report.
Yeah.
And the Olympic scouting report said that Manu Ginobili was the second best two guard in all of basketball. And Dwayne was upset for a second, but then he realized, no, he really was. And listen, Ginobili was a bench player. Rudy, if he was a starter, obviously full-time, which he was periodically throughout his career, or if he was with another team, I just think the legacy would even be even more than what it was.
We've had the argument before, and I've gotten in trouble for saying, Ginobili's never been overrated, but you put him on another. It's almost like the Derek Jeter effect. Put him on another team.
You really want to go to Jose Canseco?
Well, I mean, me and Jose are buddies now because he agreed with me. I mean, that's why me and Jose Canseco are best.
That means Rudy's on the juice, y'all. He's on the juice.
Doesn't matter. You can't prove it. I mean, I'm not taking any tests or anything. I'm not part of Balco or anything. But, the thing is, if you put Ginobili on another team, it does matter what team he goes to. I mean, does he have success if he's a part of the, Toronto Raptors at the time? I mean, I don't know. Does he have success if he's on, those Knicks teams that were bad, those Nets teams that were bad.
Well, look,
It's tough to say, man.
you got to have good players in your teams, and even some of these stars who are obviously the Showtime. You got to have stars to sometimes kind of be a star, right? Tim Duncan has David Robinson when he comes in. Tony Parker comes in. He's got Tim Duncan. You gotta have at least one Rudy to really. And Carmelo, as great as he was in New York, Rudy, never really. And I don't want to say he didn't do much, but really was a lot of smoke and mirrors. Right, get to the playoffs, to lose against the Miami Heat. I thought he was better in Denver with that cast of talent, and that team did get to Western Conference Finals.
Yeah,
but yeah, I think Ginobili. You got to have good players, and sure, if he's on a bad team, then he's probably on a bad team. So,
well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, again, it's not shitting on Wemby if he wins the gold. I mean, okay, I mean Wemby wins the gold, but I mean, let's be real, he's gonna have a better career than Vin Baker, and Vin Baker's an Olympic gold medalist. I mean, I get that. I mean, Olympic gold medal doesn't exactly make you that much of a better NBA player. It's what you do in the NBA, not what you do in international competition.
Never thought we'll talk about Vin Baker on this show.
We drop a lot of different names on this show, man.
Good. Hey, you know what?
Crazy.
In his time in the NBA, Vin Baker for a while there was
It was good. It was decent.
He was really good for it. I think he got a deal. I remember he got a contract.
Yeah.
He played in Milwaukee, the Sonics, probably some other teams I'm not thinking of right now. But good player.
Yeah, Ginobili and Vinsanity would have worked out. Again, I'm not shitting on Manu where he goes. I'm just putting on teams that, thinking about teams at the time where if he went to a certain area, it fits the system. He fits the Spurs system. There was no doubt about it. I mean, maybe what are the bad teams from back then? I mean, at the time, maybe it was
the Charlotte Bobcats.
Bobcats. Okay, so put him on the Bobcats. He's probably averaging close to 20 a game.
I'm pretty sure he is,
but he's not making a big difference. I mean, they're not going to win a title. Hell, I don't even know if they're even a playoff team, with Manu there by himself. That's the thing. So I don't know. Carmelo Anthony won gold, but that didn't make him a better NBA player. It's a nice accolade, but it doesn't matter in the NBA.
Well, I mean, listen, Carmelo was already a good player. So I don't know. His gold medal probably obviously didn't
Sith is trying to butter us up so we can pick CD over everybody. That's what he's trying to do. He's trying to butter us up a little bit there.
CD's a good player. Hey, I'm not saying he ain't. He's a stud in his own right, and he's about to get paid. He should get paid eventually.
He's gonna get paid. Empty stats like Mike Trout. LOL. Definitely. We should everybody join us tonight.
Oh, Mike, man, throwing shade at Mike Trout.
Why not? He's done for the year. He went Kawhi on everybody, man. He's done. Him and Kawhi probably play an entire season combined games. Put it that way. If you combine all the games that they play, that's one full season. Mike Trout seems to be.
Trout's probably missed more. Probably just missed more games just because there's more games in baseball.
No, he missed more games because he realizes this team sucks and I don't want to play anymore.
Well, yeah, that's got. I mean, look at Ohtani went to the Dodgers.
So why doesn't Trout leave? I mean, for God's sakes, the guy's like, I'd rather stay in I'd rather stay the Angels. I want to be in Angels.
It's the whole Damian
Gives a
Lillard
shit. There's no
thing.
Angels in the outfield coming to help him. I mean,
Dude,
it's done.
Are there even any Angels fans? I don't know. Like,
who knows? They all went to the Dodger blue, I'm sure, when Ohtani took off, man.
Up there in Anaheim. I don't really look. Ownership should step in, Rooney, and says, you know what, dude? We know you want to stay with this, but we're gonna do you a big solid and just send you out of here.
Exactly. Gio, Trout has had one playoff appearance and has won absolutely nothing. I'll say it again. Empty stats guy. Mike Trout was considered the best player in baseball for a long time.
But dude, to be fair, Rudy, baseball, listen, you gotta have, and yes, he had Ohtani, but there's a lot of different layers in baseball. I mean, to turn around a franchise, it's tough. Not to talk about my team, but the Mariners had Ken Griffey, but Rudy, they also had some other good players on that run.
Well, that's one of the bigger what ifs in baseball. We've mentioned it before. I mean, you're talking Griffey, Tino Martinez, Edgar Martinez, Jay Buhner, Randy Johnson. At one point, with Alex Rodriguez.
They traded Randy for a bean burrito and a taco. Mind-boggling to me how you don't get that guy to stay, because Rudy, that prime Randy, especially in those Diamondback years.
Yeah.
If they have him at the mound, and if Alex Rodriguez obviously stays, the Mariners, but you got to have talent, man. And Trout, listen, I'm not saying Trout didn't have talent, but just for the most part, Rudy, those teams were not very good, and at times not even competitive.
Wasn't there at one time their best pitcher was Jared Weaver, I think?
Yeah.
At one point, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. He's right. Ohtani better win some titles, because if not, it's going to be the same damn thing. And that's...
I really hope they don't. Dodger fans, Rudy, they need to be a salary cap. They need a salary cap, Rudy.
It's not so much a salary cap. I mean, I get you don't want to overload players. I mean, overload teams. I mean, it sees it all the time. The Yankees were doing it for a long ass time. As a Giants fan, I don't want the Dodgers to win.
Oh yeah, well, there's other implications on your side. You play in the same division. The Dodgers, to me, they did win that. They won the COVID championship, right, Rudy?
That was against Tampa Bay, wasn't it? If I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I think it was the COVID. I think it was the, as we like to call the LeBron championship with the Lakers, was also the COVID or the Mickey Mouse championship, as some people like to call it.
Derek makes the comment. We got to ask him, because I'd love for him. I've never really asked him to explain it, but he said that bubble title was the most difficult title to win.
Right. LeBron getting a bunch of rest. That's right, Derek. LeBron getting a bunch of rest and then listen, I get it. There's no fans, there's this and that. But the fact that the NBA season stopped, Rudy, it stopped, right?
Yeah.
These older players get a lot of rest. LeBron definitely needed that rest.
I get it. We got, we need a rest too, because we're already way past our first commercial break. This is Coach Joe Rudy Campos Jr. When we get back, we'll address the CeeDee Lamb rumors, and then after that, we'll get into some college football talk, give you guys some insight on some college football stuff, and also Lamar Odom. Yeah, he brought that up. Lamar Odom played for Team USA, didn't make him better. Victor winning in
Lamar Odom. I did not expect to talk about this today.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. Victor Wembanyama winning a gold medal doesn't really transition to the NBA.
Well, I think just a legacy talk. I think that helps kind of say, man,
sell tickets.
Sell tickets. But Lamar Odom, I don't want to put Lamar Odom in the same, as great player as he was, really good role player, played his role. But Lamar Odom, he also had some other things we won't talk about on this show. But let's get to our commercial break, Rudy.
Biggest accomplishment is being with a Kardashian. I would say so.
That kind of got his life going in the wrong direction.
We'll be back, Coach Joe Rudy Campos Jr. Are you looking for a contracting company that gets the job done right the first time? Look no further than MCS General Contracting. MCS specializes in top quality concrete work, including patios, driveways, foundations, and swimming pools. The team of experts are dedicated to delivering exceptional results and unparalleled customer satisfaction. At MCS General Contracting, they're not just hardworking, they're local. Based in San Antonio, they are committed to building relationships and trust within the community. That's why MCS guarantees your satisfaction. They pride themselves on getting the job done right the first time, every time. So why wait? Contract MCS General Contracting today to schedule your project and experience the difference for yourself. MCS General Contracting. Building a better San Antonio, one project at a time. Proud sponsors of Sweep the League. Hey guys, are you ready for a flavor explosion? Look no further than La Cocina Taco Truck, serving up the best street tacos and quesadillas in New Braunfels. With a 5-star rating and rave reviews, they're not just a taco truck. They are a taste sensation. La Cocina staff is the best in town and pride themselves on making every customer feel like family. Whether you're feeding a crowd or just satisfying your own cravings, they've got you covered because no order is too big or too small for them there. Louis and his staff are all about customer satisfaction and they love their community. Don't worry, San Antonio friends. They're just a short trip away to New Braunfels. So why wait? Come visit La Cocina Taco Truck today and taste the difference for yourself. That's La Cocina Taco Truck, where every bite is a fiesta. Proud sponsors of Sweep the League.
Hey there, sports fans. I'm Ashley, your go-to girl for all things sports here on Sweep the League. Welcome to our daily news reports where we'll be covering the latest updates from the NFL, NBA, WNBA, college sports, and more. We're thrilled to be a part of the rapidly growing Sweep the League network, bringing you fast and fresh news updates every day. Make sure to subscribe to Sweep the League TV on YouTube for even more in-depth analysis and discussions with our amazing team Monday through Friday. Huge thank you to our incredible sponsors in San Antonio for their support. We couldn't do it without you. So let's get started. I'm Ashley, and I'll be sweeping the league for you every day. Stay tuned for the latest sports news and updates.
Pops the mastermind, got the team what we need. 5 rings deep, we the dynasty kings. From the Alamo Dome to the banners we bring.
All right, welcome back to Sweep the League. Coach Gio, Rudy Campos Jr., Hall of Famer Derek Irvin taking the night off. He should be back tomorrow. So we'll get more stuff out of Derek tomorrow when it comes to Olympic basketball. He'll be able to cover a lot more of it for you guys as well. Joe Cologne's in here real quick, Joe. He says, I wouldn't knock the COVID championships, y'all. That could open the door for our 99 ship because it was a lockdown season. I would leave that alone. I would say this, the lockout season is different because you still came back to play in arenas. The COVID championship, the bubble title, was empty. That's, and going back to all, because you're a young kid, I'm an old man, but going back to the movie License to Drive with Corey Feldman and Corey Haim, when Uncle Phil was the driving instructor, and he says, "You're lucky, Anderson. The cup was empty." That's exactly what the arenas were. They were empty over in
They were
Disney
empty.
World.
No home court advantage. I know they were pumping sounds into the arena. That's not the same, Rudy. And
Didn't
obviously,
they have TVs or something where you could pay and you were like sitting or being monitored. I don't know.
so I thought that would actually be cool. I thought about that, but look, I'm not knocking any championship, but come on, guys. Let's all be real here. This was no fans, nothing. Players getting a bunch of rest. To me, the Clippers should have won. They fell apart. That was the team that the bubble just really did not work out for them, Kawhi. But hey, it's added to LeBron's legacy, so I guess it doesn't matter what I say.
Hell, the guy celebrates an in-season tournament now. They get banners and all that stuff for that. So that's kind of crazy. Who hasn't been with a crush? So I know you got a girlfriend. I've got a wife. Obviously, we're taking. But if you had to pick a Kardashian, which one would it be?
I'm not picking any of them.
None of them. None of them at all. I had to think for, was it Courtney? I think I would probably go out with Courtney. I'm not saying I'd do anything. I would go out with Courtney. More than anything. I'm not gonna do anything with him. God knows where all that's been. I'm not doing anything with him there. Holy crap! License to Drive, nice. Yeah, see, Joel remembers License to Drive. Did you ever see that movie?
Pretty sure I did.
Pretty sure you did. Corey Haim, Heather Graham was the girl in there. Young Heather Graham. Yeah, I had a crush on her back then. Kawhi is still a snake. Definitely. People don't like Kawhi in San Antonio.
Dude, I don't care. Listen, he did what was best for him. I have no grudges. If I see Kawhi on the street, I'll give him a handshake. I really don't have any issues.
Be careful. You might break his wrist if you do. So you don't want to do that too hard, man.
Spurs fans, get over it, dude. It was a long time ago. Yeah, listen, Kawhi's he's just a different brother. Okay, he's just a different guy. We all have friends. There's always that one guy that's just kind of different, and that's Kawhi, and that's okay.
All right, well, we're going to talk about best wide receivers right now. Hope Sith is in here. Hope Leja's in here because we're going to settle this debate as best as we can. This next segment is brought to you by MCS General Contracting and La Cocina Taco Truck. Funny, right? La Cocina Taco Truck is the best when it comes to quesadillas and street tacos. Short drive to get you satisfied. They are in New Braunfels every Thursday through Sunday, 8 p.m. till the last person leaves. Absolutely great food. The best food. I can guarantee you it's the best when it comes to.
So you've had it, Rudy?
You know what? I have not had it yet. I have still had it.
I thought you were going last weekend, or
man,
I'm sorry for calling you out, Rudy. I just thought that you went.
Perfectly fine. You are perfectly fine on that, because every time I want to make it out there, something happens. Something, we're just gonna call it work happens, and I get called and I have to do something, and by the time I know it, it's too late. And my wife's like, you know what, it's a little too late. But I'm gonna tell you what, I'm going to go live from there, whether they're open or not. Because if I go at 5 o'clock and they're not open, I'm gonna go live from there anyway. So that way I can kind of prove that I was still there. This next segment is brought to you by La Cocina Taco Truck and MCS General Contracting, who we hold grudges, bro. Yeah. Whatever it is, man. 1020 fans, we hold grudges. It's not who we are, Rudy. Definitely not. And that Ray Dean is a Cowboys fan. Okay, so I got tagged. CeeDee Lamb is supposed to be, best wide receiver. And, Sith is saying, well, I'll put Tyreek Hill ahead of CD, but I'm basing it off of 2023 stats. Now, 2023 CeeDee Lamb, is he the second best wide receiver, Gio?
I guess if you're going off of stats, he's one of the most productive receivers in the league. It's hard.
Stat-wise, he's number 2.
Yeah, I was just saying, like he's definitely up there. I don't know. I'm gonna say no. But he's top 5. But what's the problem with being top 5 than top 2, Rudy?
I have no idea. I don't know if it's I don't know if it's because of a fantasy football purpose, which again, shout out to fantasy football players. We're going to talk fantasy football for all you guys out there as well. But right now with wide receiver, I mean, it's crazy, man, because CD is, if you're going to rank them right. To me, Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, Jamar Chase, and I'm reluctant to put CD at 4 because I don't know, man. Call me crazy, but I move Amon St. Brown up a whole lot too. Especially after last season, I can see him being a
Amon St. Brown. I think Justin Jefferson. What hurt him, Rudy? Obviously,
injury.
Kirk Cousins too was, it's a combination. But obviously, he doesn't have the yards because how many he had? What, about 1,000? He still had 1,000 yards, Rudy.
Yeah.
So, and Tyreek is just, as we talked about, he's just a cheat code. I mean, you put him in space, Rudy, that man is gone. And CD obviously had a good year. Look, I think these guys are all in the top 5. Where you put them at, according to Sif, he's going to have number 1. That's okay. I like Justin Jefferson as my number 1 receiver. I like Jamar Chase number 2, Tyreek Hill number 3, and then 4, give me CeeDee Lamb.
And I'm not going to argue with that. I won't argue.
They're all so close. If I have to put a number behind it, Amon St. Brown is another one, Rudy. I will say he does seem more like a slot guy to you, right? Like
Amon-Ra, yeah. I would say he's but you know what? So is CD in a way. I mean, a lot of CD damage is done in the slot. So
that's the thing. So, and I said, I'm not discrediting slot guys either, because slot guys have changed, Rudy. It's a different league. This isn't your Wes Welker, right? Julian Edelman type of slot receivers. These are guys who are also bigger, faster, and it's also a matchup killer as well. Putting CD in the slot, Rudy, is just ridiculous. And really putting in that, and you have other guys like Jalen Waddle. He's a really good receiver, not top 5, but there's so many other guys. You got AJ Brown, Rudy. We didn't even mention the prima donna over there in Philadelphia.
I mean, he's top 5. So if I'm going based off of 2024, who do I think has the most, ranking them in the top 5? Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, Jamar Chase would be 1, 2, 3 for me. going into 2024, like I said,
think Chase.
the argument there.
I think Chase with Joe Burrow coming back, Rudy, healthy potentially. Look, Justin Jefferson's tied to the quarterback, and if you're believing anything from camp, McCarthy's not playing that, or who's the is it McCarthy, right?
JJ McCarthy, yeah.
So he's gonna be a rookie. Do we expect him to sling it around? I guess time will tell. I think Jamar Chase has a golden opportunity. CD holds out, Rudy. He comes in to what, the first 2 games? Maybe he's rusty. Maybe the Cowboys aren't very good, as I think they won't be good this season.
Yeah.
I think Jamar Chase has a golden opportunity here. And Tyreek obviously has Tua, who doesn't have the greatest arm, but McDaniels finds ways. So just reading the comments. So, yeah.
I mean, this is what I'm saying. If I'm going into 2024, and I know Shadur Sanders is not a top 5 franchise quarterback. Definitely not. I'm going into this. Like I said, to me, Justin Jefferson is the biggest wild card. There's no quarterback. I mean, Sam Darnold is supposed to be your opening night starter. Sam Darnold.
I like Sam. I think
Sam's good, but he can hold Justin Jefferson back some when it comes to being productive.
I don't know. You're going to have to move him around, slot, outside, inside. Just find ways to get him the football. The days of putting him traditionally outside, inside, you got him. He has to keep moving. If you want your best player to get the ball, keep moving. That is a wild card. Darnold, I thought he looked pretty good, Rudy, with the 49ers, but then again, that's the 49ers when he had a chance to play, right? That's a completely different team ahead of the Vikings. But Justin's a wild card. CD, Rudy, with that contract, comes in first game, and we don't know, Rudy. Maybe he comes in game 3.
Yeah.
And is rusty. What do you do there?
I mean, Justin Jefferson got paid, so there's no telling if he's going to take a step back. I mean,
listen,
after you secure the bag, sometimes you play.
DeAndre Hopkins, Rudy. How many? He had a lot of quarterbacks, right? He still showed up. Still went out there, performed. A ton of quarterbacks before obviously he got Deshaun, and he had Kyler for a little bit as well. So, I don't know. The top 5, you can kind of just move them around. If you want CD1, hey, I'm not going to fight you. I have no dog in this fight.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. It's really hard to, they wanted me for the advice on it. I really don't have CD in the top 3 as of right now. I have him high 4, but I can also go all the way down to 6 or 7 with him. I mean, you can make cases, because if you're looking at CD Lamb top 7 at the 7th position, okay, who would you put after the 3? You would go Amon-Ra St. Brown. You can go AJ Brown. You can put Devontae Adams there. We forgot about Devontae. So
DK Metcalf.
You can even maybe make a case for Metcalf. So
Rudy, not to cut you off. Did you?
Oh, good.
Did you see the clip of what Metcalf did in practice?
You got to remind me. I haven't seen much.
He hit a player with his helmet.
It was mentioned to me. I didn't see it, but it was mentioned to me about that. Okay.
Dude, that's a terrible, terrible look, Rudy.
That's assault,
dude. That's assault. I don't care what that player did. To take off your helmet, Rudy, and to hit somebody with that, DK, bro, you got to be better, man. You are one of the best receivers, top 10, top 12 in the league. Dude, that's just, and I don't know. I really haven't read into much. I don't really care what the hell Seattle's doing anyway as a Rams fan, but it rubbed me the wrong way when I saw that. I was like, dude, you can seriously injure someone when that helmet comes off.
100%, dude. 100%. It should be assault. I mean, it should be banned from the damn league for at least a year for doing something like that, because you can really, really screw somebody up for that. But nonetheless, CD Lamb, hopefully we answered Sith. He hasn't commented, so I'm assuming we pissed him off. Which again, apologies, but CD, as far as where we ranking him, I mean, like Gio said, if you want him number 1, you can make a case for him being number 1. I don't have him 1. I have him no higher than 4 and no lower than 6 or 7. That's just me right there. So we're going to take our last commercial break. When we get back, it's NCAA. We'll do about another 5 or 6 minutes or so on NCAA football, the preview show. How many teams are going to get in to the playoffs in the SEC? I think I got like 4, but I can imagine getting in. So we're going to ask that question when we come back. And also, I'm going to let Jill do a little bit of research here because Memphis and UTSA in the American Conference, Memphis is getting a crap load of love, but I think UTSA is the better team. Could UTSA squeak in to the college football playoffs? They do make a case. They can make a
I
case
like
for it.
Memphis. They got a good roster there.
I do too. We're going to discuss that when we get back. It's Coach Gio, Rudy Campos Jr. Howdy from Texas. You've got to be tired of the sizzling electric bills in the Texas heat, right? Well, partner, we've got the solution for you. Introducing Castro & Sons Solar, harnessing the power of the sun to save you some serious cash. Their top-notch solar panels will have you soaking up the savings in no time. Imagine lower electric bills, a reduced carbon footprint, and the satisfaction of going green. Their expert team will take care of everything from installation to maintenance. We're talking hassle-free, worry-free, and stress-free solar solutions. So why wait? Join the solar revolution with Castro & Sons Solar. Let the Texas sun shine bright and your savings shine even brighter. Castro & Sons Solar, empowering your home one sunbeam at a time. Call them today and let's get this solar party started. Can you imagine a world where nature meets wellness, where every sip you take nourishes your body and soul? Introducing Special Leaf Tea, a line of 100% natural, ready-to-drink iced teas crafted to boost your immunity and energy. With 4 unique flavors to choose from, as in hibiscus blueberry, tangerine ginger, pomegranate blueberry, or the original, you can indulge in the perfect blend of taste and nutrition. Their teas are carefully crafted with 2 times the antioxidants and no added sugar. They're known to help with blood pressure, hypertension, type 2 diabetes, cholesterol, weight management, and even provide natural energy without caffeine. Join the movement towards natural wellness. Order now at www.specialleaf.com and start sipping your way to a healthier, happier you. Special Leaf Tea. Nature in every sip. Proud sponsors of Sweep the League. Spurs fans, are you ready to stay ahead of the game of the San Antonio Spurs with the best coverage in the business? Tune in to Locked On Spurs, the daily podcast that brings you expert analysis, exclusive interviews, and all the latest news and updates for your silver and black. Join Jeff Garcia, the most informative and entertaining host in the game, as he breaks down all Spurs news and notes, interviews the biggest names, and keeps you locked into all things Spurs. From Monday to Friday, get ready to start your day with the best Spurs coverage in the business. Don't miss out on the expert opinions, the hot takes, and the can't-miss guests. Make sure you're locked in with Locked On Spurs. Subscribe to their YouTube channel now and stay ahead of the game all season long. Locked On Spurs. It's the best Spurs coverage in the business. Don't miss out.
Shemaya, you did it.
Wemby, the king is crowned. Wemby, king is crowned. Future of the league, and he's wearing it proud. We playing justice, playing checkers, no contest. Wemby's got the game on lock, and he's making a statement. I'm talking about Wemby, the next in line. Future of the league, and he's shining fine.
All right, welcome back to Sweep the League. Coach Gio, Rudy Campos Jr., Hall of Famer Derek Gervin will be back hopefully tomorrow. If not, we'll definitely get him back on Monday. But this last segment is going to be brought to you by MCS General Contracting. La Cocina Taco Truck, Castro and Son Solar, as well as Special Leaf Tea. Also, shout out to Jeff Garcia and Locked On Spurs. College football, man. Okay, we're talking about college football previews, which we're going to do a whole preview show, so that's still coming. But let's kind of give everybody a little bit here. We talk SEC. Can we agree that the SEC is the dominant conference right now? Hands down, they're going to probably get what? 3 for sure, possibly 4, maybe 5. Maybe
It's possible, Rudy. I mean, look, Alabama, we can assume, Rudy, they're going to get in just off obviously the quarterback play, in Georgia, top 2 right there. Now, Ole Miss, interesting team. They got players coming back. I do like the Rebels there, Rudy, as that kind of that third team.
Yeah.
And then what? LSU, Tennessee, those 2 there are going to be fine. But look, Auburn, Texas A&M. There's always surprise teams in the SEC where they can jump in there. It only takes a few losses and Ole Miss is done. So the SEC, I mean, obviously Georgia, Alabama, but I could see 5 teams, Rudy. The Big Ten is right there, Rudy. As someone who lives in Big Ten country, I mean, Rudy, getting Oregon, right? You get Washington, though they won't be clearly as good as last season as they went to the national championship. But to me, Oregon has a good shot. And Rudy, I think some people have said Oregon could definitely see them winning potentially the Big Ten, which would be weird seeing a Pac-10, Pac-12 team coming in. There'll be some adjustment period for those teams coming in. Obviously, West Coast football already real different from kind of like that smash mouth in general, Big Ten football. But Rudy, Alabama, Georgia, Ole Miss, my top 3 right now. But I think LSU and Tennessee, I could definitely see those kind of last few teams getting in. And watch out for Auburn as well, man.
So SEC, my 3 guarantees are Texas, Georgia, Alabama.
Oh, Rudy, I completely forgot Texas.
Of course you did.
I forgot Texas is going, y'all. Yes, Texas is definitely.
Yeah. I mean, as Sith comes in and says Lamb is a goat. I don't know about that.
Sith, dude, you're late, bro.
He's
We
way.
already talked about that, man.
You got to watch the replay now when it comes to that. Sith be throwing goat labels loosely out there. Yeah. So SEC, honestly, it's okay. So for me, it's Texas, Bama, Georgia are the guarantees. I like Ole Miss to be a 4th team in there. That's definitely one team that I can say get behind, but definitely 3. So I'm going to put 4 from the SEC in there. Now, when we're talking Big Ten, remember they're taking 12, I believe, to the college football playoffs. Big Ten, I've got Ohio State, obviously. They're making it in there. Oregon, I think, gets in, but I also maybe see Penn State as well. So that brings the total number to what? 7 teams total?
Oh, Rudy, I completely forgot. Hold up. Missouri had a
Missouri's
hell of a
another one.
I forgot about Missouri. They always give Georgia fits and issues. Missouri, Brady Cook. I think that's a team, Rudy. They beat Ohio State, I believe, in that bowl game last year, Rudy. Which didn't mean anything, but
nobody.
Watch out for Missouri. That's again another team in the SEC, Rudy, that could surprise and get to the postseason. Not by me, because I know they can ball there, and they have a really good team coming back.
Not only that, so okay, we'll give you Missouri, so that puts us at 8 teams, meaning 4 spots are left. The ACC, I think they get maybe 1 or 2 teams.
Florida. Oh, Duke, right?
Yeah, right. No way. I mean, you're talking possibly Clemson, possibly Florida State. I mean, SMU is another team that is definitely on the rise when it comes to college football. So I think they get 2. We'll give them 2 teams in the ACC, which puts us at a total of 10 teams. Now, are we overlooking the Big 12? Not necessarily. I mean, you can get a team in from there. Who in the Big 12? I mean, Oklahoma State, maybe. Definitely not Colorado. Utah is another one. Utah could get in.
Utah, Rudy, Kansas with Daniels at quarterback. I think
Kansas, you're right.
they could make a run. The Big 12, I think, is going to be wide open with Texas and obviously Oklahoma. We didn't mention Oklahoma, Rudy.
I don't think Oklahoma gets in though.
No,
Their first year in SEC, I don't see them getting in.
I think they could struggle.
You know, would it be fair to say Oklahoma's a 500 team this year? Maybe just above a 500 team?
Yeah, and I haven't checked their schedule. I definitely will before the preview show, but I just don't. I think not yet. But Rudy, you mentioned SMU. I really love that pick. I've actually played with them in the college football 25 football game, which we did have a giveaway. And they have a lot of talented. They got speed on that team.
Yeah.
But SMU, Rudy, any other surprises you think could shock a team nobody is literally thinking about heading into? Because I do like the Oklahoma State pick. I think Gundy is kind of like he's been here for a long time, Rudy.
Yeah.
You know, he's had to kind of fight through Oklahoma and Texas all the time, but Oklahoma State could be another team as well. But any other, you think, shockers?
Well, okay. I love the way you transition to that here. This is what I like here. I'm looking at the American Conference. Everybody, and for all the right reasons, everybody has Memphis as being the best team in the American Conference. Now, UTSA is a team that has beaten Memphis before. And I mean, they have won. And I think it was in Memphis when they actually won that game. If you're going to give Memphis that much love for the American Conference, why not a team like UTSA? That's my biggest question. Because both teams are, they're let's not beat around the bush. Jeff Traylor does a tremendous job at UTSA. Both teams are pretty much going to be powerhouses this season. They're going to be 1-2 in the American Conference. Now, look at Memphis' schedule. Their main games, I mean, they got Troy in week 2, but after that, they're going to Florida State. They're going to Navy right after that. They've got to go to South Florida a couple of weeks after that, which is never fun when you're playing South Florida. And then they have UTSA November 2nd. And then, of course, you end the year with UAB and Tulane. So Memphis' schedule, it's kind of rough. But we're talking, people, are talking about them like, you know what? They can be that 12th team into the college football playoffs. They could make it. But I'm like, hold up. Because if you're going to give the same love to Memphis, you got to give the same to UTSA, who I see, honestly, their schedule, it's not the best schedule. It's not the hardest schedule compared to Memphis. But if they can go, quote unquote, undefeated with their only loss technically to Texas in week 3, but win everything else, you've got to give them a chance because they'll beat Memphis on November 2nd if they win out, with the exception of the Texas game.
Yeah, I mean, Memphis, Rudy, they got
They're
speed.
loaded.
They're loaded. I mean, they got Rock Taylor at receiver. They had that Demir, I can't even pronounce his last name, Black Moose or something like that. Yeah. They got a lot of guys, man. Memphis is a team that will be ready to go. UTSA, they won the conference last year, right, Rudy? Am I not mistaken? Or did they come? I think they were 10-2. So I don't remember.
Year, they were. I got it right here.
Or were they? I forgot what their record was.
They were 9-4.
Okay. So look, that conference, I think Memphis is the darling, but Jeff, he's gonna have the boys ready to play. And I'm surprised, Rudy. Why hasn't he gotten a bigger job? Is he looking to stay? I mean, it's possible. Is UTSA? Aren't they set to get a new stadium, Rudy, in a few years? Or potentially,
it's being talked about. It's being talked about. But it's funny because they asked the question last night with me and Derek about Jeff Traylor. We can answer it now. I mean, we're talking about UTSA. the thing with Jeff Traylor's contract. First and foremost, I just want to say UTSA is my dark horse team. I think if they were to go undefeated, now looking at the game against Texas real quick, what kind of loss does UTSA have to have against Texas? Because if I'm not mistaken, when they last played Texas, they were actually winning for a little while there against Texas, but they ended up losing 41-20. 21-point loss against one of the top teams in the country.
It's not bad.
And your UTSA is not bad. If UTSA runs the table, only lost against Texas, if they lose by 15 or less, is that considered a win for UTSA when it comes to getting into the college football playoffs?
Yeah, but I think those type of teams reading those confident, you gotta be, because what, there's 12 now, right, getting in.
Yeah.
So I think that should be enough. But Rudy, you know how the committee is. It's never cut and dry with them. They always have their own agenda. They're gonna follow obviously what they say they do, but
they never do.
They well, yeah. Don't get me started on the committee last season.
It's a flawed system.
It's a flawed system. I think the 12, it should be obviously easier now, but there's going to be someone left out, right? There's going to be a team that gets hot.
There always is.
Watch out for another team, Rudy, in Iowa. I know last year they couldn't score a lick, but they played really good defense, and that defense could travel. I think Iowa's also another team to watch out for. Rudy, I think Memphis has the nod. So much talent coming back. I think UTSA might be just a step behind. If Memphis upsets Florida State, Rudy, do you think that if they go undefeated?
Oh, yeah. Then you can't argue that. I mean, let's play devil's advocate. Memphis goes undefeated. They beat Florida State. They beat all the teams that we mentioned. And say UTSA pulls off the major upset and beats Texas. That holds more water than Memphis beating Florida State.
Yeah, no, and what week is UTSA playing Texas?
I believe it's week 3, if I'm not mistaken.
Look, I think, could Texas be looking ahead, Rudy, at their SEC schedule and thinking,
yeah,
wait, is the game in Austin?
The game's in Austin.
All right, so it's gonna be already an uphill battle for UTSA, but
well, here's why I give UTSA an outside chance. I know we're gonna end the show here in a minute, but Texas goes to Ann Arbor the week before.
And that's the game we talked about a few weeks ago. How are they beat up? Are they bad? How's their body after that game? Because really, it's going to be a physical slobber knocker. And that following week, UTSA could be seeing a team that maybe is kind of in their wounds, right? Because they also Texas always got to play Georgia. They also, I never really always last. They also got to play Vanderbilt as well over there in
I don't laugh at
Tennessee.
But SEC is no joke, man. I've always said that. It's never a joke.
So I don't know. What do you think happens in Ann Arbor? Because that to me is I don't know what to expect yet from Michigan. Obviously, new quarterback, new running back, right? There's a lot of
everything.
New coach who's obviously been in the news for deleting text messages. I'm not sure what's going to happen there. But anyway, I don't know what to expect from Michigan. But, Rudy, as you know, going to the Big House, it's going to be a tough place to win, regardless of who or how talented Michigan probably. I think Texas is probably more talented at this moment heading into that game. But being on the road there, Rudy, it's going to be a tough environment.
I'm going to stick to my guns, and I'm going to say Texas wins in Ann Arbor. It's going to be a fight. There's no doubt. It's hard to put my finger on Michigan right now because I have no idea what they're going to look like.
And that's the scary. And that's the scary part going in, Rudy. What does Sarkisian? What do you don't know what to really?
You don't know how to.
Of course, Michigan's going to run the ball. I mean, that's Big Ten kind of old school way of thinking. Yeah. But you never know coming into that game, and Michigan comes out, starts throwing around, and Texas is not prepared because I don't know. We can assume Michigan's going to run, play action, do all that stuff, but I don't be surprised. I'm going to give Texas the nod, though. They're in the SEC now, right? So I got to give them some SEC love. But Joel thinks that it's it
Yeah.
was a mistake. Rudy, do you think
No.
it
For
was?
for Texas, no. And I'll tell you this, why? Because Texas has one of the top defenses in the country right now. They've got a massively good defense. So to say the SEC is a defensive conference while the Big 12 is an offensive conference, I do get that. Gio clearly made it a point where he said, no one plays defense in the Big 12. It's always a shootout, which is it
Well, look,
happens.
the
But Texas has a
SEC
defense, man.
is the SEC defense like 2010s. No, it's definitely lightened up. There's
It's hard
shootouts.
hitting. I ain't gonna
Yeah,
lie.
it's hard hitting. I mean,
No disrespect. SEC is man's football. It's a man's game in SEC country. I
it
will
is.
not
It
doubt.
is. No. It's a different brand, and even in the Big Ten, they try to play obviously defense in there. It's real similar conferences. I'll say, Rudy, that I feel like the Big Ten has played a little bit better defense maybe in the
They have.
last few years.
They have.
Because you see Alabama's defense sometimes getting torched. And Georgia got torched against LSU just a few years ago. So I think Big Ten's been better, but just the brand, the physicality, SEC, I think Rudy, Oklahoma, that's a different story. I don't know. Look, obviously Oklahoma can recruit Rudy. They could bring in the best boys, and they could do all that stuff. But if I'm going to say a team that is probably going to struggle for the next few years, I'm probably going to pick Oklahoma. Not to say they won't be a good team, but that could be the team that if they don't head in the right direction, they could sail, and maybe they're looking for a new coach in a few years. But Oklahoma, I'm not sure about them yet, Rudy, because their brand it's a good brand, but I think they probably should have stood in the SEC. I mean, in the Big 12.
Yeah, exactly, man. I mean, they're I like the move for Oklahoma. Helps recruiting. You're going to make more money, obviously, in the SEC. You're playing against better competition. I'd say Oklahoma. I'm going to give it real quick. I give them 3 years before they start to turn around. And for all we know, they could do it next year. I mean, they could be one of the best teams this year or next year. But I think I'd safely say 3 years. I think Oklahoma will be turned around, and they'll be, one of the top teams in the SEC.
I mean, their schedule is actually tough, Rudy. They got Houston, right? You got Tulane. Tulane's a program, Rudy, that has come around, right? They have been pretty good the last several years. So you got starting off that, and then you got Tennessee, right? So you're at home against on the road at Auburn. They got Texas, of course, South Carolina, Ole Miss. They got Missouri. They're playing Alabama and LSU. They do have Maine in there. That's a tough schedule. But Rudy, then again, when you're in the SEC, Rudy, every year, anything can happen, and there's no more divisions, right? Like historically, Georgia's side has been a little bit easier just because Florida's hasn't been very good. Tennessee's starting obviously the last few years to get good, but now there's no divisions, Rudy. So it's a free for all how you schedule, how that works. Oklahoma, for all I know, Rudy, they go undefeated. I don't know, but I highly doubt it. Yeah. Does SMU beat Florida State? I like SMU. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, Rudy, if SMU beats Florida State.
I've got to save something for the preview shows when we cover these conferences. But I'll tell you this much: looking at the ACC, SMU is probably my number one team going into the college football season.
Not Duke or North Carolina, Rudy?
No, definitely not Duke. Definitely not North Carolina. Mac Brown can do a lot. He just can't win football games in Carolina. There's no possible way. So that's our talk here. Before we leave, Gio, I got to ask, what the hell's with the Pac-12, man? I mean, there's only 2 damn teams. Can't you just become independent? Like, what are they going to play each other like 9 times every year?
I think the Pac-12 has a few more years. They need to reset. And what teams can they bring in, Rudy? I mean, look, you obviously have the WAC conference there with a bunch of San Diego States. Boise State, if you can get Boise State there, Rudy, start there. And see what you can do. But gosh, it's going to be disappointing really in a few years to probably see this conference go. Stanford left. I mean, all of them left, but Washington State and Oregon State.
Yeah.
So I think you start with Boise State, see if you can bring them in there, Rudy, and then try to build on that. BYU is another program. Is BYU in the Pac-12 now, Rudy, or in the Big 12?
That's what I'm just looking up right
I'm
now.
trying to
BYU's in the Big 12 now.
So they're
If you're
gone.
Oregon State and Washington State, why not just join the Mountain West? I mean, it's you don't have a bad conference in the Mountain West because what is it? Utah State, Boise State, Fresno State, San Diego State, UNLV, and Wyoming can put teams on the field that can be competitive. I think they can get a team in if you add an Oregon State and Washington State.
I'm just curious why Washington State. I know obviously they're not the Huskies, but why did they stay in Oregon State? I mean, do they think they could rebuild the conference with just two? Because realistically,
I don't know
who else. You bring in Boise. What, the Pac-12? You're going to bring in you're going to start bringing in those teams.
That's why I said just go to the Mountain West. Both teams go into the Mountain West and just let it be. I mean, that's
how much. I mean, clearly, how the money is clearly not the Pac-12 money.
Well, no, you can go into the Mountain West and just rename it the Pac-12 if you want, or Pac whatever. It doesn't matter. I mean, just rebrand both conferences.
It just feels so. I mean, it just feels so wrong. Right? The fact that I never thought today I'll see USC, Rudy, probably being on the road and playing Minnesota. I just never pictured that happening, and the day is here. So, Gonna be interesting to see the Pac-12 how they do, Rudy, in that kind of physical kind of, you lived in Ohio for a bit, kind of that gloomy rain, it's kind of odd weather to sometimes play football in.
Yeah,
I mean, we saw Rutgers make the move to the Big Ten. Maryland was in the ACC route. Now they've been in the Big Ten for a while. I can't wait. Rudy, another team, real quick. Just want to throw some love out there to Virginia Tech. They returned a lot of starters from last season.
Yeah.
Could be another surprise, but I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, we're going to get into more college football preview. There's no doubt about it, man.
Tim just read my mind.
Yeah. Dangerous player. They brought all the team back. I have SMU as the best team in the ACC right now. But we're going to discuss. So what we're going to do on the preview show is once we get the schedule down, we're going to go conference by conference. We may not cover every conference in one show, so we'll break down each conference for you, as many conferences as we can in a show. So,
are we covering the Ivy League, Rudy?
Probably not. I don't think we're going to go that far into it, but we're going to cover the main conferences. I guarantee you we're going to spend all but 2 seconds on the Pac-12 right now. So since there's only 2 teams in there, we'll give you our winners, our conference winners, maybe see who makes the college football playoffs and all that stuff. So that's going to be coming up here pretty soon. Also, Gio and I, we used to have a fantasy football show. We're going to also give you all some fantasy football advice. A lot of this stuff is going to come in content form on our TikTok and also on YouTube. So be on the lookout. We'll be sharing them out on Twitter, Facebook, all that great stuff. So I'll be posting it on TikTok as well. So yeah, be sure to catch a lot of our content that's coming out. But for Coach Gio, Rudy Campos Jr., man, we were sweeping the league again tonight. Tomorrow's Friday. I can't not wait for Friday. So that means the weekend is here and I get to relax for a little bit. But hey, on a good note, Gio, Special Leaf is on your way. I told you we're going to get to sample Special Leaf.
It took 10 years, but I'm finally getting that tea, Rudy.
Well, I found out what happened was you forgot to initial the contract part of Special Leaf on the NIL deal. So we got that. You've emailed
I'll be making
back.
sure I drink it on air so that way they could see, people could see the logo.
Yeah,
And,
you know what? I've got to go get me some.
I'm just waiting for Louis to send me some frozen tacos over there from San Antonio, and I'll just ship them over, Louis.
I wonder if we can do that. I'm gonna ask Louis if we can ship you some tacos overnight. Some tacos. Now, I don't know how we're gonna do that, but you know what? anything is possible, man. For everybody, I appreciate everybody joining us here tonight. Shout out to our sponsors one last time: MCS General Contracting, La Cocina Taco Truck, Special Leaf, and Castro and Sons Solar. Also, shout out to Jeff Garcia and Lockdown Spurs. For Coach Joe, Rudy Campos Jr., until we sweep the league again tomorrow. We'll see you later, Knuckleheads.
Hey there, sports fans. I'm Ashley, your go-to girl for all things sports here on Sweep the League. Welcome to our daily news reports where we'll be covering the latest updates from the NFL, NBA, WNBA, college sports, and more. We're thrilled to be a part of the rapidly growing Sweep the League network, bringing you fast and fresh news updates every day. Make sure to subscribe to Sweep the League TV on YouTube for even more in-depth analysis and discussions with our amazing team Monday through Friday. Huge thank you to our incredible sponsors in San Antonio for their support. We couldn't do it without you. So let's get started. I'm Ashley, and I'll be sweeping the league for you every day. Stay tuned for the latest sports news and...
You're watching Sweep the League TV. Shout out to Rudy, Coach Gio, and Derek Irvin. Keep going, guys.
Shout out to SOTV and STL Music. I love the music, and hell yes, they paid me to say it. Commercials are not free, honey. Did you share our YouTube yet? Why not? Go watch Sweep the League TV right now and support my guys. Rudy, Kojio, Derek, and crew only talk sports and have fun. They don't have any bad vibes, just amazing fans. We love everyone.